Why real money moves in silence. Look around you. The loudest people on social media are often the ones flexing rented cars, borrowed lifestyles, and temporary success. They talk big, post big, and try to look rich. But here's the truth nobody tells you: real wealth is usually quiet. The people who actually have money, they're not busy proving it. They're busy multiplying it. There's a powerful idea hidden in the phrase, "Big cash don't make noise, pennies do." It means that people with small money often make the most noise trying to appear rich, while those with real financial power move silently, strategically, and intelligently. This isn't just a motivational quote, it's a pattern you'll notice if you start observing the real world with logic instead of illusion. Think about it scientifically. When someone lacks something, they tend to overcompensate. It's basic human psychology. If someone feels insecure about money, they will try to signal wealth through visible actions, expensive clothes, flashy posts, constant bragging. But when someone is actually secure, they don't need external validation. Their focus shifts from showing wealth to growing it. In this video, we're going to break this concept down step by step. You'll understand why silent wealth is more powerful, how fake noise traps people in financial mediocrity, and how you can shift your mindset from looking rich to actually becoming rich. This is not about motivation, it's about reality, strategy, and long-term thinking. The psychology of noise: why small money shouts. Let's break this down logically. Why do people with less money make more noise? It comes down to one simple concept: insecurity mixed with social validation. Humans are wired to seek approval. When someone doesn't feel financially strong internally, they try to create an illusion externally. That illusion becomes their shield. Think about it like this: if someone buys a 5,000 rupees shirt and posts it everywhere, what are they actually doing? They're not just showing the shirt, they're trying to signal status. It's not about the product, it's about perception. This behavior is common among people who are still chasing wealth, not those who already have it. Now compare this with someone who is financially stable or even wealthy. They don't need to prove anything. Their mindset is different. Instead of asking, "How do I look rich?" they ask, "How do I stay rich and grow richer?" This shift changes everything. Their decisions become more calculated, less emotional, and definitely less visible. From a rational perspective, noise is inefficient. It wastes time, energy, and often money. Posting, showing off, maintaining an image, it all costs something. And ironically, the people doing this the most can least afford it. They are trapped in a cycle where they spend money to look rich, instead of using money to become rich. So the next time you see someone being loud about money, don't get impressed, get analytical. Ask yourself, is this real wealth, or just performance? Because most of the time, it's just noise covering up the absence of real financial power. The illusion of wealth: looking rich versus being rich. Here's where most people get trapped. They confuse appearance with reality. Just because someone looks rich doesn't mean they are rich. In fact, many people who look wealthy are actually financially fragile. They have high expenses, low savings, and zero long-term security. It's all surface, no substance. Let's make this practical. A person driving a luxury car on Emmy, wearing branded clothes, and eating at expensive places might look successful. But if their income stops for 2 months, everything collapses. That's not wealth, that's a carefully maintained illusion. Real wealth is not what you see, it's what you don't see: investments, assets, cash flow, and financial stability. This is where the concept becomes powerful. People chasing the rich look spend money on liabilities, things that lose value. People chasing real wealth focus on assets, things that generate income or grow over time. One mindset is emotional, driven by ego. The other is rational, driven by logic and long-term thinking. From a scientific and economic perspective, wealth is measured by net worth and cash flow, not by lifestyle display. But social media has flipped this reality. It rewards visibility, not stability. So people start optimizing for attention instead of financial strength, and that's where the downfall begins. If you want to break out of this trap, you need to rewire your thinking. Stop asking, how can I look successful? And start asking, how can I build something that lasts? Because at the end of the day, illusion fades, but real wealth compounds. Silent wealth, how the rich actually operate. Now let's flip the perspective and look at how real wealth behaves. People who truly have money don't operate like social media influencers. They move differently, quietly, strategically, and with long-term vision. Their goal is not attention, their goal is control. First, they prioritize privacy over publicity. Why? Because attention attracts unnecessary risks, jealousy, competition, even financial threats. From a practical standpoint, the more visible your wealth is, the more vulnerable you become. That's why many wealthy individuals live surprisingly normal-looking lives. Not because they can't afford luxury, but because they don't need to prove anything. Second, they focus heavily on assets and systems, not lifestyle. Instead of spending on things that depreciate, they invest in things that generate income, businesses, stocks, real estate, skills. Their money is always working, even when they're not. This is the key difference. Poor people work for money. Rich people make money work for them. Third, they think in terms of years and decades, not days and weeks. A noisy mindset is short-term, how do I impress people today? A silent wealth mindset is long-term, how do I stay financially free for the next 20 years? This shift makes them patient, disciplined, and extremely hard to compete with. And here's the most important part, they don't chase validation. Their confidence comes from numbers, not opinions. They track growth, returns, and progress, not likes, comments, or social approval. That's why they stay consistent while others burn out trying to maintain an image. So if you really want to level up, start observing this pattern. Silence is not weakness, it's strategy. And in the world of money, the quieter you move, the more powerful you become. The cost of showing off, why noise makes you poor. Let's be real, showing off isn't free. It comes with a hidden cost that most people don't calculate. Every time someone spends money just to impress others, they are literally delaying their financial growth. That 2,000 rupees spent on flexing could have been invested, saved, or used to build something productive. This behavior creates a dangerous loop. You spend to look rich, people expect you to maintain that image, and now you're forced to keep spending, even when it hurts your finances. It becomes a psychological trap where your lifestyle controls you, instead of you controlling your money. From a logical perspective, this is inefficient resource allocation. Money is a tool. If you use a tool for the wrong purpose, like buying validation instead of building assets, you weaken your future position. And the worst part? The same people you're trying to impress won't be there when your finances collapse. So the smarter move is simple. Stop performing, start building. Because every rupee you don't waste on noise can be used to create real, silent power. Delayed gratification, the real game changer. If there's one trait that separates noisy money from real wealth, it's this: delayed gratification. Most people want results instantly. They earn today and want to show it today. But people who build real wealth think differently. They are willing to wait. From a scientific perspective, delayed gratification is directly linked to higher success rates. It means you can resist short-term pleasure for long-term gain. Instead of buying something just to feel good now, you invest that money so it grows over time. It's not about sacrifice, it's about strategy. Let's make it practical. Imagine you earn 10,000 rupees. One person spends it on clothes, gadgets, and showing off. Another person invests it in learning a skill, starting a side hustle, or putting it into assets. After 1 year, the first person has nothing left. The second person has growth, income potential, and leverage. This is why real wealth stays quiet, it's busy compounding. While others are chasing instant validation, disciplined people are building a future that doesn't need validation at all. Discipline over drama, the silent advantage. Here's something most people don't want to hear: building real wealth is boring. There's no drama, no instant hype, no viral moments. It's just consistent discipline repeated over time. And that's exactly why most people fail. They prefer excitement over consistency. Noisy money thrives on drama. New phone, new clothes, new flex every week. It feels exciting, but it's unstable. Silent wealth, on the other hand, is built through routines, saving regularly, investing consistently, improving skills, and making calculated decisions. It doesn't look exciting, but it works. From a practical standpoint, discipline reduces risk. When you follow a system, you don't rely on emotions. You don't make impulsive purchases, and you don't chase trends. You stick to what actually builds value. Over time, this creates a massive gap between those who are disciplined and those who are just chasing dopamine. So the question is simple: do you want short-term excitement or long-term freedom? Because you can't have both at the same level. The people who win financially are not the loudest, they're the most consistent. Social media versus reality, the biggest trap. Let's expose the biggest illusion of this generation: social media wealth. Most of what you see online is not reality, it's curated perception. People only show the highlights, never the struggles, debts, or risks behind it. And when you consume this daily, your brain starts believing that this is normal. This creates a dangerous comparison loop. You see others living rich, and you feel behind. So what do? You try to match that lifestyle, even if your finances don't support it. This is how people get trapped in unnecessary spending, debt, and financial stress, all just to keep up with an illusion. From a rational point of view, social media is designed to maximize attention, not truth. Flashy content gets more engagement, so that's what people post. But engagement doesn't equal reality. A rented car can look like ownership. A one-time luxury experience can look like a daily lifestyle. So the smart move is to detach from this illusion. Stop comparing your real life to someone else's highlight reel. Focus on your numbers, your growth, your system. Because real wealth is built offline, and it doesn't need an audience. Build quietly, grow relentlessly, your action plan. Now let's make this practical. Understanding the concept is good, but applying it is what actually changes your life. If you want to shift from noise to real wealth, you need a clear system. First, control your expenses. Track where your money is going and eliminate anything that's purely for showing off. Second, start building assets, even if small. It doesn't matter if you begin with 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. The goal is to create the habit of investing and growing money. Learn skills, explore income streams, and focus on things that can multiply your earnings over time. Third, stay low-key. You don't need to announce every move. Work in silence, improve yourself, and let results speak later. This protects your focus and keeps you away from unnecessary pressure and distractions. Finally, measure progress with logic, not emotions. Track your savings, investments, and growth. If the numbers are improving, you're winning, no matter what it looks like on the outside. Because at the end of the day, real power is not in being seen as rich, but in actually being financially strong. Silence is the real flex. At this point, the message should be clear: real wealth doesn't need to speak. It doesn't chase attention, it doesn't beg for validation, and it definitely doesn't rely on showing off. The louder the money looks, the weaker it usually is. And the quieter it moves, the stronger it actually becomes. If you truly want to level up financially, you need to shift your identity. Stop trying to impress people who don't matter. Stop measuring success by what others can see. Start focusing on what actually builds power, discipline, patience, smart decisions, and long-term thinking. Remember this: anyone can look rich for a day, a week, or even a few months. But very few people can stay rich for years. That requires a completely different mindset, one that is calm, calculated, and silent. And once you develop that, you don't just earn money, you control it. So move smart, move quietly, and let your results make the noise when it actually matters.